So my big uh, issue is I have 50, you have 100 different things you can do, right? But choosing one or two has been my problem. You know what I'm saying? You you end up with paralysis of analysis, and you don't know where to start, and you got all these opportunities, and you're chasing one after the other. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's really common. And I deal with that as well. And I talk about that. I have a keynote speech I do, and it's you have to choose everybody's afraid of making the wrong choice, right? I mean, that's now you could be talking about a lot of things. You could be talking about which girl you want to date, or you could be talking about marketing, or you could be talking about whatever, but it could be anything. I'm assuming you're talking about marketing and wholesaling.
Yeah, real estate business. Yeah.
Yeah, and which direction to go with that. But the biggest thing I can tell you is pick something. And the reason people don't want to pick something is because they're afraid that they'll make the wrong choice, right? You're like, well, if I pick this, that means I can't have this or something. But if you pick something, you start heading towards it, you can always change that. But if you don't pick something, that is a conscious choice. By not picking something, that is a choice. So if you're going to go somewhere, like let's say you want to go, if you have a goal, and you don't know what it is, you're better off to at least pick, like, I want to go to Burger King, so at least you'll get a Whopper. You know what I mean? Even if that's wrong. And then at Burger King, once you get your Whopper, you can decide again. But if you don't pick something, and a lot of people do this, and I'm being kind of general here, but a lot of people do this where they don't pick something, that's a choice, guys. That's a conscious choice, and it's the worst choice you can make. So you need to be committed to one thing. You need to set an intention. So whether that intention is to make $10,000 a month in wholesaling, then you step back and you say, okay, I'm going to choose one, I'm going to master one marketing channel. And then if I get that down, I might add another one, because ultimately you do want to have a few marketing channels, but not in the beginning. And of course, it depends on budget as well. So you really have to commit to something. You have to pick something, and you've got to go for it, because what happens otherwise is you take your focus and you fractionalize it into a spectrum, and you become basically non-effective.
Right. So as an example, I should say, okay, I'm going to focus on lease options to get started, as an example, right? And then work with that, see how it goes, maybe become an expert at it, and then move on to something else. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Absolutely. Yeah. So it depends on, you've got some variables to consider, like what's your marketing budget, what's your expertise, what's your market. And if you feel like something's right, one of the things I will say that I wish I would have learned a long time ago, wholesaling is a hard thing to do, right? I mean, it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of work. But if you can lead, if you can, I'm not saying not to go for lease options, but if you can take your real estate business and lead with wholesale, every single other opportunity will come out of that. So if you're able to lead with, I want to buy your house at 70 cents on the dollar, if you can lead all your marketing with that, you will have an opportunity for lease option. You will have an opportunity for subject to. You'll have an opportunity to grow your portfolio. You'll have an opportunity to do contract for deeds. But if you're adverse to that, and there are plenty of guys that have just gone out and just mastered lease options, and they've done well. I mean, Joe McCall, it's a great example.
Right.
So you just got to choose, and you got to get good at something, because if you keep bouncing around, you become a lot less effective.
Right. So, but then you're saying, okay, let's focus on wholesaling in general. But it's like, well, there's 50 different things I can market to. So I got to choose one or two and get started there. And you don't want to make the wrong choice, I guess, where I'm at.
I think it's a good time to talk about marketing, because with marketing, this question really ultimately comes down to marketing, in my opinion, because you've got to focus your marketing efforts, right? And one of the things that I see people make mistakes with in marketing is they don't keep their foot on the gas long enough. So they'll say, okay, I'm going to try ringless voicemails, and they'll do it for a month, and they'll be like, oh, I only got one lead. Okay, I'm going to switch to voice broadcasting. Oh, I only got one lead. Okay, now I'm going to switch to direct mail. Like, if you do that, that's the fastest way to run out of money. You've got to decide, I'm going to do X marketing strategy for 3 months minimum, hopefully 6. Decide what your budget is and say, I don't give a shit what happens. I'm doing it. And then on top of that, guys, you've got to work the leads. It's all about follow-up. Like, if follow-up is 80% of your business, any marketing strategy will fail if you're not willing to get on the damn phone and call these people back. That's huge. I see so many people failing that.
Shut up.